So one of the things that I've kind of been struggling with is, the moment that I finished all of the features of this app, I was like, okay, and finished, right? It's an app. It's never really done, but the moment that I felt like I had done everything that I planned to do, that I filled out my MVP Trello board, I immediately felt this huge, just like drop in my heart, and I was like, oh God, I can't. What do I do now? Do I just post it? Like, do I just market it? Like, what is this? What do I do from here? And it felt terrible. And then like the next day, or like that same day, I got some like really bad feedback that like really hit me hard. And so those two things combined were just like absolutely destroying me. And I wanted to talk about it because I feel like this is a thing that if you haven't experienced it, you probably will. And this is the problem with a lot of engineers that start startups, myself included, clearly, even though I thought I was sort of beyond this, is building is the fun part, and you're really good at building. And so you want to just build and build and build, and you feel so good. And I've been building like 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, and it's felt so freaking good. And then you get to the end of the building, and you're like, oh, shit. I have to actually do the thing now. I need to like go find people to use this. I need to like market. And you start trying to look for other improvements. You're like, oh, well, actually, I can't launch without this feature. And suddenly I made vertical videos, And then it's, oh, well, I really need code signing. And yes, but also really no, right? Like, implement everything that, like, let it be an MVP, let people be upset with it, right? And so this is, like, a moment that I think we're all going to hit if you haven't already hit it. And I know a lot of you that watch me are, like, engineers just making your first startup, so I want to bring this up. And I don't know what the answer is once you're there. I feel like the moment that I finished building, I immediately felt like I had made a mistake almost. And I didn't realize it until I stopped building. And I didn't stop building until I was finished building, which means that I probably got way further than it ever should have, at least based on everything I've just said to you. And so this is kind of one of those moments where I realized, there was like this really core principle of launch early, launch often, validate without building anything. I used to say never build. And because I thought this project would bring me in viewers, would bring, the channel benefit, I was willing to work on it even without that. But I can right away see that even though that was true, it still probably led me down the wrong path. Because I've been building this for, I think, almost 2 months now. Yeah, something like that. Since like the end of June. And that's way longer than this should have taken. Because it took me like 2 days to get a crappy version of it working locally. And really, I could have gotten further with less. I could have gotten really far with less. I could have even gotten to the point where I bought code signing like a month ago. Then I could have had code signing on a much worse app, but I didn't. Right? And I regret that now. Because I recognize, for lack of a better way to put it, I could have wasted the past month, And I hate that word because it feels like crap. It feels like crap, especially when you say it after you've put in so much time. But that's how I started to feel. And the only reason I feel better right now is because since I don't have code signing yet, it gives me more time to build. And building, again, feels really good. And building will always feel really good. But building is never the hard part. Building's never the part that stresses you out. And even if it is, it's still fun. You still look forward to coming back to it. Even the most crap error, you'll find a way around or something. I built a freaking Electron app. But man, sometimes it feels like you're sprinting with your eyes closed and then you hit the Grand Canyon, And I've done this before in my old startups, and I endeavored not to do it again. And a lot of people who have built startups would even say like 2 months isn't that long. But for an indie hacker, I could have built another project or two by now if I had had the balls to really, really force myself into the MVP mentality, or actually validated with my landing page more. Because hot take, I still don't even know that people want this. I think they do, but I didn't get a single pre-sale. But then I said, oh, it's just because I've only marketed on Twitter. But I didn't try to market beyond that. So I share this story that even I, who is aware of all these things, has messed this up. Even I, being aware of all of this, has still managed to sit down and do what I would consider moderately the wrong thing. Now, there is no right and wrong, right? If you've already built a bunch of stuff, you shouldn't just arbitrarily feel like crap because it's not productive. But I'm starting to realize I need to be forward looking more and less obsessed with whatever the next project is and making that a success, and really, really time boxing, not just how long I spend on it, but how I spend that time. Because if nobody buys Switch to TikTok in 2 months or 2 weeks, when I fully release it, final Omega release, TM number 4, Roman numeral X, if nobody buys that, I will, in the back of my head for the rest of my life, say, I knew that wouldn't succeed 2 months ago when nobody paid on my fake landing page. And that's tough. So moving forward, I'm going to make sure that I don't do that, because I hate that I know that I still have this fear. I hate that I know that I'm still letting myself fall into the trap of building something first and then launching it second, when really it should be the opposite direction. And so I encourage you, again, and this is not me saying this is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, but this is purely how I feel about my own journey so far. If you find yourself in the same place, I don't know, you use this story as much as it can help you, even if it's just to reanalyze where you're at for a second. But if you totally disagree, that's also fine. This is the magic of startups is it's its own journey for everybody. And as much as I'm enjoying mine, I'm realizing maybe I shouldn't be as much. And I got to be a little bit harder on myself if I want to achieve those crazy goals. So that's pretty much it. That's current status. That is my fear of launching. As of recording this video, we're about 2 weeks out. So maybe I'll put another update after I've launched. Fear of after launching. I'm not sure. But that's all I got. Thanks.